You're listening to Central Hip Hop Hour with Gabe Schall and Nate Havrilla. Starting now.
It is Triple H, Central Hip Hop Hour on the Beat, where we talk all things hip hop and R&B. I'm Nate Havrilla.
And I'm Gabe Schall. This week we're going through a list of big hip hop artists and picking our favorite beat, favorite production that they've been on. Production is such a huge part of hip hop. It's really arguably like one of the most important things next to rapping, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It was very revolutionary for, you know, the whole art of sampling. So I feel like we're going to see a lot of that in what we're talking about today, and some of our favorite beats from these artists. We're considering like big hip hop artists, talking about our favorite beat that they've been on, and then we're gonna talk about like kind of who produced it. We also threw in Metro Boomin and Pierre Bourne. We're gonna talk about them at the end because they're pretty well-known producers, but they have solo independent songs that they've released like under their name, but they also have beats that they've produced for other people.
Yeah, two of the most talented, and I feel like they have the biggest like reach on the hip hop game in terms of, I feel like I hear their names the most. They work with so many artists. And yeah, I'm really excited to kind of dive into them because, I mean, it's kind of like how I would say Young Thug and like Future were with our favorite rap features last time, where they've just done so much that it's almost impossible to get the same results from everyone.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Like we've said before, if you like hear us talk about one of your favorite artists or your favorite producer and you're like, how are they not going to mention this beat? It's the best one they have. You know, reach out to us.
Yeah, let us know. WMHW on Instagram.
Yep. We're not judging. In terms of production, I mainly focused on the beat. I think that the beat is probably my favorite part of rap music, just because of the different energy that it brings.
There's so much variety out there.
Yeah, I agree. So I mainly focused on that, but I feel like it's hard to have a song with bad production if there's a good beat, you know? So they kind of go hand in hand, and I'm really interested to see what we're going to say. Ready to start?
Yeah. Just as far as like what I was looking for and like how to decide what like a good beat is, I definitely take like uniqueness as a big factor. You know, you don't want, there's plenty of beats out there that sound really good, but they're not that special, you know. So I was definitely considering that a lot. As a producer myself, definitely looking for things that like inspire me a lot, that have inspired like changes in my production style, stuff like that. Yeah. You want to get into it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, we're starting off with probably one of the most notorious rapper/producer combos in hip-hop. We have Kanye West.
And just because we've been mentioning him in the past few radio shows, we do not endorse his actions at all.
Yeah.
We know
it's purely on the music.
Yeah, purely on the music. And I don't even think we're considering anything he's done probably
recently. No.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So, yeah. All right. Do you want me to start, or would you like to start?
You can go ahead.
Okay. So to begin, I mean, this is one of the like best producers of all time. So it's hard to pick one. I want to give a quick shout out to All Falls Down. I think that's one of the greatest like soul samples I've seen.
Definitely.
I want to give a shout out to Through the Wire, obviously. I like Devil in a New Dress. What can I? There's just so many different Kanye songs with amazing production.
Yeah, when I was going through, I literally like I picked like two from each album to make my first list before I narrowed it down.
Yeah, it's hard. Also, Father Stretch My Hands Part 1, Ultralight Beam, like just so much. But and also, I know we already said we don't endorse recent Kanye, but I want to give a shout out to Carnival. In terms of the beat, that beat was just so good to me. I really liked the like energy of it.
Yeah.
So even though it's obviously not like what his old music was, I just thought it was a fun beat.
It was fun.
But in terms of what I picked, I went with a song that I've already talked about and how much I love it. We Major. I love just like the overall like aura of it.
Yeah.
I know that's kind of a cringy word to say, but it's just how I feel about the song. I love how the beat has like that kind of that chord in the background that just sounds like it sounds like you're at an elegant party or something like that. I love how it all sounds with Kanye's verse on it, with the Nas verse, with the really dope chorus, everything. So it was produced by Kanye, John Bryan, and Warren Campbell, and I really love what they did with the song, and I love the beat, and I just think their production on it just added so much to the song, and it was just like perfect. Every time I listen to it, I just am so impressed. That beat never gets old, so that's why I went with it. But it's Kanye, so I know you're gonna have a very different answer than me.
Yeah, another thing to like consider is like how much of your enjoyment of the song do you attribute to the production? And I think like that's one of those ones where it's like it wouldn't be the song that it is without like that super majestic, like beautiful production.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was definitely one of the ones I was considering. I have a super long list. I was also thinking about Through the Wire, really like 2 words off of College Dropout, Diamonds from Sierra Leone, Champion, Homecoming, Devil in a New Dress, Power. Off some more recent stuff, I really like Come to Life and God Breathed off of Donda, but the one I went with was Ultralight Beam.
Okay.
This was produced by Kanye. Chance the Rapper also has a production credit on it. Swizz Beatz, Mike Dean, Plain Pat, Noah Goldstein, DJ DS, and Rick Rubin. So it's kind of hard to tell who did what on it. Kind of hard to pinpoint like who gets the credit for it, but this is out of all these beats, I love all of them. I love so many more that I didn't get a chance to mention, but this one, every time I listen to it, it really just, I'm so focused on the production, because I genuinely, like, I don't really know how they made it. Like, it has this, like, sort of wobbling, like, vocal on it that is kind of, like, one of the main parts of the beat. And I don't know how they did it, you know? And stuff like that, like, really, really inspires me and gets me super excited about production. It has like that vocal sample from like an internet video that they put at the beginning that I think makes like a really good intro to it. And it's so simple, but it has like this just like incredible vibe to it. And then they have that choir vocal that comes in eventually, and that's like mixed, fits in super duper well. And it just has like this feeling to it that I don't think I've ever really heard in another song. And I can't give that to anything else besides the production. I mean, I love what all the artists did on it, but I just think that if I were to pick one, that's the one I'd go with.
Yeah, and I mean, in terms of how many different like people were on the production of the song, I think that almost tells to how good of a song it is, because when you have so many great artists all come together on one piece, I mean, obviously some songs are better when it's just one guy or girl just doing their thing, working on it, but when you have so many different people able to piece their different strengths together and make one solid piece, it's going to be beautiful. So I think that's a big part of that song. And,
absolutely, yeah.
And yeah, I agree with everything you said about it. And I just remembered one more I want to shout out, Life of the Party.
Yeah.
It completely slipped my mind, but another great soul sample. It's a great song.
That's the thing, like Kanye just has so many.
Literally.
Like I could probably list like 50 songs or something.
I know.
And that I just love the production on.
I agree completely. Like, I've always said that he is the best artist of all time. Maybe not rapper, but best artist of all time, just because of his talent in production and rapping and all these different pieces. So, and yeah, going through his discography, it's definitely not easy to just pick one. And speaking of not easy to just pick one, Kendrick Lamar is our next up.
This is another one I had a pretty big list for.
Me too.
And I mean, Kanye obviously has a ton of variety, but I feel like there's also a ton of variety in Kendrick's catalog.
Definitely.
I mean, you have To Pimp a Butterfly, which is very like jazz rap focused. You have some stuff like that on, why am I blanking on the name of his first album? Section 80. You have some like jazz focused stuff on that too. Then you have Damn with like that darker, there's some trap production on there. There's also a lot of like sample chopping stuff on there. Then you have Mr. Morale, which is like a completely different sound. Sounds like a musical almost. And then GNX, which has that like West Coast sound on it. You have Good Kid, Mad City, which has like a it almost kind of a dated sound. Like it's very much reminiscent of like that 2010 sound, but not in a bad way at all. Like I really love that sound. So there's just so many things that pull from this.
Yeah, I agree completely. It's just, it feels like every album is just like a completely different type of Kendrick. So it made it really difficult going through. You're like, oh, I like how he sounds on this, and then you go to this album, you're like, wow, I like how he sounds on that. I think personally, my favorite in terms of production and beat, my favorite album was Damn. I really liked that dark sounding. You have so many good songs: Pride, Duckworth, Feel, so many different, like Loyalty, Love, so many different, just great sound, like great beats, great production. But in terms of what song I actually went with, this probably isn't much of a surprise. It was our bracket winner, but I picked All Right.
Totally valid.
Produced by Pharrell and Soundwave. I think I've mentioned on here before, I love Pharrell. I think he's one of the most talented producers of all time. He does things that no one else can do. I don't know if you've seen, he recently had a movie come out called Piece by Piece. I loved it because it just dove into so much of how he's able to like produce and told his story. And All Right is just, it's a one-of-one beat. It's a one-of-one in terms of production, because there's so many pieces. You got like the saxophone, the sample in the background, like the jazz, everything to like, it's just such a unreal beat. And I mean, obviously Kendrick is such a talented rapper and artist, so he's amazing on it. But
that beat is phenomenal though.
I know, and I think if you put pretty much any artist on it, they would be able to do something with it, just because it's one of the best.
I feel like the beat
ever.
On its own could stand on its own, and that's another like really impressive thing about it. It's really cool with like producers like Pharrell, Metro Boomin, Pierre Bourne, who are able to get a little bit more attention, because a lot of times like producers just take more of a background role. They don't really get any of the spotlight that the artist gets on it, and you know, they don't get any of the credit either. Like they're like, this is Kendrick's song. They don't get any of the credit, even though it's like arguably 50% or more of the song is made up by the producer or producers. So it's really cool that you have people like Pharrell that like get that notoriety.
Definitely. And just to shout out a few more that I missed. I mean, Sing About Me Dying of Thirst is amazing. Money Tree is amazing. Don't Kill My Vibe is great. And then, I mean, I don't know if we consider this, I guess it is his song, but All the Stars. Another great beat. It's almost similar to that We Major, where it gives you that like rich feeling. And I think it just really adds to the song. But
I love the drums on that.
Nothing in that compares to All Right with me, but I'm interested to see what you have to say.
Yeah, I have a pretty long list. I was definitely thinking about All Right. I also really love Backseat Freestyle. That's one of my favorite like hard-hitting beats ever. I really like The Art of Peer Pressure off of Good Kid, Mad City. Wesley's Theory and Mama off of To Pimp a Butterfly also. I was thinking about Feel and Duckworth off of Damn. Also, one that kind of gets swept under the radar, 616 in LA is part of his beef with Drake. Never got released on streaming. I'm pretty sure it was only on Instagram, but I would love to have it on streaming because it has a really, really cool beat. The one I went with though was United in Grief, the intro track off of Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. This was produced, Kendrick has a production credit on it, also Beach Noise, JLBS, Tim Maxey, and Duval Timothy. Not anyone that I really recognize name-wise, but I think they did a phenomenal job on this one. Also Soundwave was part of this. He has production credits on like some of the best Kendrick songs ever. Big collaborator with him.
True talent right there. And I mean, it's definitely, I feel like it's easy to work with Kendrick just because he's able to do so much that, and I'm sure he's just such a leader and like takes a hold of it because he's just such a talented artist, a talented guy. So
definitely. And
big.
this song, United in Grief, I feel like when people think of like experimental hip hop, this probably isn't what they think of, but I feel like this is one of the most like interesting experimental hip hop songs I've heard in a while. Like I was saying about the album as a whole, it kind of feels like something you'd hear in a musical, almost like something you'd hear in like Hamilton or something like that, with just like that single piano, and then eventually those strings end up coming in. But the thing that makes it really cool to me is like these like reverse drums that it has, and then it has like these super like harsh like booming like snare and kick, really fast pattern that comes in, and that's something that I feel like only Kendrick could have rapped on, really. Like I can't imagine many other artists on this beat. It kind of reminds me of something that like Sampha or like Benjamin Clementine would be on, but they're not really like hip hop artists. So I feel like it just made for such a unique hip hop song. Like nothing like I've ever heard before. Super inspiring for me. It's just very like uniquely beautiful. For a second, like the strings at the end almost sound like something out of like a horror movie. Like it switches between like beautiful and menacing, like so like at such a quick pace. And I don't know, I just love it. I think it's super unique, and again, it just gets me really excited about production.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think Kendrick and Kanye are both of those songs that it just gets you excited to listen to the production. I feel like it's still that way with Kendrick, not so much with Kanye as they keep releasing, but it's always just so interesting to hear what they're going to do, since they're so amazing. Their minds, they're geniuses at their craft. So it's just so interesting to hear where they're going to go, what direction they're going to take. And
they're always going for new sounds, trying not to be stagnant.
Exactly. Drake is up next. I think I want you to start here. I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, about Drake, I think I don't think he has like that as good of a quality as like Kendrick and Kanye have for like picking new sounds and going in new directions with their music. I feel like he's kind of been stagnant for a little while. And I don't think that means that his music or his production has been bad overall. It's just not as exciting for me personally as things you'll hear on like Kanye and Kendrick's albums.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a bigger fan of like his sound, kind of his older sound. So that's where I went. That's the area I was looking. Some ones I was thinking about, Pound Cake. I'm a big fan of that. I also just really like the production on Take Care. I don't know. It just has like a very nostalgic vibe for me, very like luxury sounding, you know. I really like Underground Kings. I like Buried Alive interlude with Kendrick on it. I also really like Worst Behavior off of Nothing Was the Same. But the one I went with was Lord Knows off of Take Care.
I know. I was scrolling through it as you were saying it. I'm like, no way he's going to skip Lord Knows.
No, that's the one I went with. I think this is probably one of my favorite beats ever. I think like as far as like that like luxury rap, that lane that Rick Ross really fits into, and he is on the song, so it makes perfect sense. But this is produced by Just Blaze, who is very much like, this is his style. It has that really, really thick like choir sample that just feels so massive. And you know, it is a sample, but when I was looking into this song, I listened to the original sample, and it is definitely there, but I'm pretty sure they recorded their own choir to like build off of it. So that's another thing that's like super cool in the production. It makes it feel like so full and not like you just like ripped it off of YouTube and chopped it up. Like it feels like they made it their own song. And I think it's really up there in terms of like that luxury rap. I think it's up there with like beats like Devil in a New Dress. I'd probably take that one over this, but still, like, I think this is like one of the best examples of that. And the drums here, I kind of noticed they don't really sound like typical hip hop drums. It sounds more like a live drum kit, which I think gives it like a really unique vibe, kind of contributes to like that luxury feeling. It just feels like a very high production value. I love this beat.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's one of my biggest shout outs. I really love when Drake kind of gets on that like soul sample where he actually really goes into it and raps.
I know.
You see it in other songs. I mean, Views is another good example of it. You Only Live Twice off of Certified Lover Boy with Rick Ross and Lil Wayne is another good example. I'm a big fan of those beats and what Drake does on them, but I think Lord Knows is the best example, and I completely agree with you, but I do have a couple of different ones that I also like to add. I want to mention Best I Ever Had.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I really like that. I just recently found its sample. I never knew it was sampled, but I was listening to it. It was like, it's like an old 70s rock song, and I was just listening. I'm like, whoa, this sounds like the start of Best I Ever Had. So
That's
it's
cool.
Great, wonderfully produced song right there. Fancy is another good one with Swizz Beatz. There's just so many that I enjoy. Off of some of his newer stuff, I really like TSU. I think the beat on there is really refreshing, and I've always been a big fan of the song. But in terms of the song that I went with, I decided to go with Nice for What.
Okay, nice.
It's always just been a song that just makes me happy, and I largely attribute that to the beat. It's produced by Murda Beats, and I just think he does such a good job of sampling X Factor by Lauryn Hill, which is, I mean, Lauryn Hill is widely regarded as the greatest female rapper ever. She's an incredibly talented woman, and
off of one album is just so iconic. You know, it's still being sampled today, still being talked about.
Exactly, and I thought Murda Beats did such a great job with it onto this song, to not really give it that kind of like sad feel that kind of the song brings, but to make it like a party song and to make it energetic. And every time I listen to it, like, I want to get up and dance because it's just so well put together. And for me, that's one of my favorite parts of music, as you'll probably see in some of my future mentions, is I just love those energetic songs that make me want to just like get up or bob my head or something. And every time I listen to Nice for What, it's always that same feeling. And I think Drake does a great job. I mean, that's what he does. He makes hits, and he made a hit with this one. I mean, it's one of those songs you can pretty much play whenever, and people are going to always enjoy it. I've never heard someone be like, oh, I hate that song, because it's just a good song.
It's very hard to dislike,
So that's why I went with Nice for What. But
that's a great pick.
Yeah, he has so many different routes that he goes on. I agree that he's a little bit more stagnant now. And he probably isn't on as great of beats and stuff, but
it feels like now in his albums, like you were saying, like there's songs on like Certified Lover Boy that kind of call back to like the vibe that you get on Lord Knows. And it just kind of feels like every album he's kind of pulling from all the different things he's done in the past. Which, you know, it's fine. I like when artists like push it a little bit further, but that's not to say like his production's been bad overall or anything like that.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot of people think, you know, honestly, never mind. It's not really a hip hop album. It's more of like a dance, house album. A lot of people think the production on that's bad, but I think it's cool.
I think it's cool. I mean, it's just a very different route, obviously. I was always really like intrigued on why he was decided to go a house route all of a sudden. But I'm a pretty big fan of house music. I enjoy it. It's just a good like background summer day, just hanging out with your friends.
I think there are some really great songs on there. I don't think it's like his best project by any means. I think like
obviously.
I don't think he did everything he could have with his vocals, but I think it gets too much hate. I think that's a well produced.
I agree. And then Jimmy Cooks too. I think that has a great beat.
Great one.
But yeah, I enjoy your take on that.
Yeah.
Next, I know this is an artist that you're very high on.
Yes.
So
this is another one I had a huge list for.
All right, I want to hear your list first, because you're definitely gonna have a longer one.
I think Travis Scott has, probably next to Kanye, my favorite ear for production. His sound has inspired the things that I make so much. He goes for like a psychedelic vibe that he's approached in multiple different ways. He kind of went more of an industrial direction in his recent album Utopia, but stuff like Astroworld has a very like psychedelic like trap vibe. And then in his first album Rodeo, you get like a lot of like electric guitars, heavy synths, stuff like that. Rodeo is my favorite album from him, so I have a lot of shout outs from that. I really like Apple Pie. I like Nightcrawler a lot. That's one of like that's resonating with people a lot right now. Oh My Decide, great. 3500, incredible. I also really like Drugs You Should Try It off of Days Before Rodeo's mixtape. Off of Astroworld, Skeletons, R.I.P. Screw, Coffee Bean, off of Utopia, Hyena, Sirens, My Eyes. But the one that I went with, probably widely regarded as his best song, 90210, off of Rodeo. This is produced by a lot of people. Once again, we have Dahi, which he has so many incredible production credits. He worked on Money Trees, a bunch of other amazing Kendrick songs, some Baby Keem songs. We have Alan Ritter on this, who produced Work by Rihanna with Drake. He also did Stargazing by Travis, St. Pablo by Kanye, All Day by Kanye, Thought It Was a Drought by Future. Also Mike Dean, who is a huge collaborator with Kanye, Travis, and The Weeknd. And he's really known for like he does a lot of mixing and mastering, but he also does a lot of like synth and guitar solos, big massive outros. This is kind of like known as like the Mike Dean outro. And also Travis Scott has production credits on this. But yeah, about the beat, it's so unique. I don't think I've ever heard a hip hop song sound like this. It almost reminds me of like Heroes by David Bowie at like certain points. Like it's so unique. Like that chord progression and like the melodies that they put into this are just so unique. There's a sample from one of my favorite Kanye songs on here, Family Business. They chopped up a vocal that was on there and threw it onto this beat, so it gets points for that too. And it's just talking about like that synth plus electric guitar combo on here is just so incredible. And I just think like I like the juxtaposition that what they did with Travis's like sort of like rattly voice mixed with Casey Hill's feature on here, which is just so soft and beautiful with this reverb on it. It's just incredible. Like I don't think many people would disagree that this is at least one of his best produced songs.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's not what I chose, but it's definitely top 3. It's just the beat switch, like everything that goes. Just a great song.
I know,
like, I mean, I can't really mention anything that you haven't already, but great song. Some of the picks that I chose that I don't remember hearing. You probably might have mentioned them, but SDP Interlude.
Yes, that's a great one.
Great beat. I wish that he would have actually. I mean, I think they have like a remix of it where he actually does rap on it, and it's a great song. I wish he would have incorporated that more into the interlude. I think Pick Up the Phone is another good one. Just
that's a banger, yeah.
Like that, dun, 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 dun. Like just kind of
super
that.
Catchy.
Yeah, happy. Like I love that type of feel. I agreed with all the rodeo ones that you mentioned. But the song that I chose was Skeletons off of Astro World, produced by Tame Impala, who's one of my favorite indie artists. He is really talented. If you guys are into like that indie type of sound, please listen to Tame Impala. He's a great artist. And I mean, Travis deciding to get him to produce a hip hop song was a great decision.
It worked so well.
Yeah, it just like that whole guitar feel. It's that same like almost psychedelic thing that Travis does, but I think that Tame Impala takes it to a different level than Travis does.
Yeah.
So Travis performing on this beat was just so beautiful. It's just a great
and the Weeknd on it too.
Yeah, it's an amazing song.
It's layered together so well. Yeah. I think in most of his albums after Rodeo, he tried to go for a similar like super like floaty like incredible vibe that 90210 has. I think Skeletons is the song off Astroworld that he did that with, and I think like it lives up to it. Like, I think it's probably like up there in my top 3 as well. But also My Eyes off Utopia I think was kind of an attempt at that, and I think he also did a really good job with that.
Yep, but just in terms of production, my personal favorite of the 3 is Skeletons. I think it's that just Tame Impala love in me that kind of brings it to that point. All right, you ready to move on?
Yeah.
All right, Tyler, the Creator.
Another like phenomenal rapper and producer.
I know we started with like the big 4 of producers. Or big 4. I guess Drake's not much of that, but great. It's just an amazing catalog. I mean, he's gone so many different routes and ways in his music, so I feel like that made it pretty difficult.
Yeah.
He's kind of like that Kendrick, where every single album kind of has a completely separate sound from the other, so it's really hard to just kind of like pick which ones. But which ones did you pick?
Yeah, he definitely has. I think he still has like a signature style. Like if you hear a beat, you kind of know that it's Tyler's beat, even if he's experimenting with new things. Like I think his use of synths is like some of the best in the game that I've heard. Some ones I was thinking about off Flower Boy, Who Dat Boy. And I Ain't Got Time. That's a really good one. Also, I mean, this is more of an R&B song, but I really love Garden Shed off that album.
Yep.
I think it's super underrated. I had 3 that I was like really heavily considering, so I'll just talk about them all. New Magic Wand off of Igor. It's one of the only songs on Igor that is more of like a hip hop song, very rap heavy. Just has like this super cool like bass synth melody and this like really aggressive drums in the background. Super fast, super hype, super unique. I also really like Noid off of Chromacopia. It's actually very dependent on the sample, the like bass riff melody that kind of carries the song is a sample, and then also the like chorus, I guess, from the from a Zambian band called the Ngazi Family. Someone speaking in, I guess, their native language. Super unique. When I heard that, I was like, man, I think like I'm in for a classic album. Like this was a single release before it, and I was like, this is crazy. Like I've never heard anything like this, and I still think it's one of my favorite songs off the album. Like I love the production on it. And I also was looking at Hot Wind Blows off of Call Me If You Get Lost. This is another like very sample dependent beat. Has like this super cool flute sample.
Yep, I love
like
that.
How many hip hop beats have you heard that are like based off like a real flute? You know, like I don't think I've ever heard another beat that utilizes that. And I think it's like the peak of like the aesthetic of that album. I think this is the song that does it best in my opinion. Just super floaty, super cool. Another song that uses like it sounds like jazz drums, like a real jazz drum kit instead of like the typical like sampled hip hop drums. So that gives it that like super like floaty, light aesthetic, summertime kind of sound, like you're on a boat.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So
yeah.
I can't really pick between any of those, but those are my top 3.
I definitely considered Hot Wind Blows. All of those were definitely considerations. I do love that whole flute thing, but as to your mention of how many songs actually sample the flute, there is a beat I mentioned later that incorporates a real flute. So, but Tyler, I'm a big fan of more of his new style. I've never really been able to get into his old style just because that's not really my type of feel. But off of Cherry Bomb, I like Find Your Wings a lot. I wouldn't say it's much of a rap song, but it has Sid, Caliucci, all these different talented artists. It's a great song. Young/Perfect.
Yeah,
I think that has a great beat. Interesting topic, but great
Very
beat.
interesting topic.
Off of Flower Boy, I really like. Where This Flower Blooms.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good. Frank Ocean's chorus on it is just it works so well with the beat. I feel like the whole point of Flower Boy, even the album cover, is just to give you that like it's sunset and a summer day type of vibe, and I think that song portrays it really well, especially the beat. I really like Boredom. I feel like the chorus with Rex Orange County is almost integrated with the beat, and I really like how that is. Great song. But off of Call Me If You Get Lost, my number 1, which I think it's a pretty underrated song, is Safari. That's I love the production on Safari. You have like trumpets in the back. You have all these different like parts and pieces that all just go together so well. Every time I listen to the album, I have it on vinyl, but I always like Safari just sticks out to me so much because it's unlike anything I've really ever heard. I think Tyler fits really, really well on the production with it. It was produced by, obviously, Tyler and then Jay Versace. But yeah, I love the beat. I think it's great. I would say it was between Hot Wind Blows and Safari for me, but that was my choice.
That's a great pick. And I think like one of Tyler's greatest abilities as a producer is that layering you were talking about, like bringing in so many different sounds, but it doesn't feel like overwhelming at any point.
No.
Like they all blend together so well, and he's amazing at that selection of samples, selections of synths and drums and things to just blend them all together and create like beats that you've never heard anything like them before.
Agreed.
So yeah, he's definitely one of my favorite producers ever.
Me too, definitely.
Yeah, we're gonna move on to some artists who don't really do their own production. First, Young Thug.
Yeah, Young Thug obviously is one of those people that's just able to perform on many beats. He's gone so many different ways, so many different styles. But for me, I mean, obviously there's a lot of great Young Thug beats, but for me there's one song that is just kind of ways above the rest, and it's Surf off of So Much Fun. I just think that beat is one of one. Pierre Bourne is the one who produced it, so I'm mentioning it again later when we talk about him. But it's just like so fun, and it's kind of like why can I not think of the song? The Outkast, like their most popular one. Hey Ya, where it's like the beat is just so fun and happy that it just completely distracts you from what he's actually talking about in the song. Because I mean, it's Thug just talking about gang violence the whole time. But the beat is just so like great. Like it's so fun, so like jumpy. Him and Gunna both just fit so well on it. Everyone that I like am friends with and stuff, always we just listen to the song. It's such a great, like, me and my girlfriend love it, me and my boys all love it. I feel like you can listen to it every time that it gets sunny out. Yesterday it was sunny, 70 degrees. First song I played was Surf because of that beat. And I think it goes to Pierre as a producer and Thug as an artist, where I mean that's what he's made for. It's just that
those upbeat kind of like almost pop rap sounding beats.
It's just happy, and that's what Thug does, and that's why for me it's probably one of my favorite beats ever, just based off of that. But obviously he has many different styles. So what did you say?
I really like that one. I also really like Relationship. I think we've mentioned that one on this show before. Really unique beat for him to work on. I also really like the beat on With Them. The one I went with was it's called Harambe. It's off of Jeffrey. Weird song name, but this was produced by the Billboard Hitmakers, which is like a production duo. Pretty much everything they make is for Young Thug. They also did Relationship. And they did a few other songs on Jeffrey, the project that Harambe is on. But this sound from him, I don't really know how to describe it, because it's definitely not as happy as like the stuff you hear on So Much Fun, but it still like kind of has that like pop sound to it. Very, very like kind of like tied to the time that it came out. But this has like this super cool like vocal chop in the background. I don't know. It's really hard to describe why I like this one so much, but it's just very subtle. It just kind of, the beat is just kind of like sliding around, which makes like perfect space for Young Thug to try like a million different flows on it. And yeah, I just love this style of production on him. If you haven't heard this project, I think it's probably my favorite Young Thug project. But yeah, I don't have much else to say about it. It just sticks with me.
Yep. I don't think I've ever heard that song before, so I'm definitely going to have to go check it out after this one. But kind of like Young Thug, we got Future now. The Trap Goats just released a song together, actually. I was going to mention it in my shout-outs. It's a pretty good song.
Pretty good, yeah.
I'm going to have to re-listen because I've only listened once, but I enjoyed it. Future, though, very, very impressive artist. So many different styles, so many different ways that he's able to flow on different things. I mean, I feel like you can mention multiple songs off of We Don't Trust You. Yeah,
because he's an artist who has worked with Metro Boomin a lot. Like, I feel like he's someone who he'll find a producer who he really likes and like get a lot out of them. Yeah. And there's another producer that he's worked with a lot called TM88. He's the one with the 808 Mafia tag. And he's made some of my favorite Future beats. Puffin' on Zooties is one of my favorites that I've heard from him. 7:12 p.m. But also from Metro, I really, really like Beat It off of We Still Don't Trust You. And obviously Like That, I think, is one of Metro's best beats.
Yeah, I completely agree.
The one I went with for number one, though, is another one of those songs, kind of like 90210, that's pretty talked about as one of Future's best songs. I went with Codeine Crazy, produced by TM88, who also, he made EXO Tour Life, No Bystanders, and Nightcrawler from Travis, also some stuff on Jeffrey. So I guess I just really like this guy's production style. I think this is like the epitome of like Future's like in his feels mode. I think this is like the perfect beat for him to be on. It has like this like sliding like plucky synth lead that comes in that just has this incredible melody to it that it just makes you like, it makes whatever Future's saying, even if it's not sad, like it makes it sound like the most emotional like sad thing in the world, even if you don't relate to it at all. And it sounds so clean, so crisp. Like this is my favorite like nighttime like trap song to put on. I love it. It has like a very nostalgic vibe to me.
Yeah, I think that's a great song and a great pick. I mean, that's definitely one of Future's best. But I think he's another artist that just has so many different ways that he can go about it. I like Commas a lot. I've mentioned that as being one of my favorite songs. March Madness, I think, has great production. Layup, it kind of has that Zaytoven. It is Zaytoven.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how to like explain what he does. It's also Ain't No Love off of We Don't Trust You. It has that same like, it's just kind of like this bouncy feel. But this is where I mentioned that real flute. I decided to go with Mask Off.
Oh yeah. Is that a real flute or is it?
It sure sounds like one to me. I mean, I've seen a million different like people playing it and stuff like that. Produced by Metro, so no surprise there. I think it's one of Metro's best. And if you weren't around in 2016, 2017 when this song dropped, it had everyone in a chokehold.
Yeah.
It was like I would play it constantly. Yeah, it was. I downloaded a few songs on my iPod back in the day, and that was one of them. It was that and Too Much Sauce by DJ Esco featuring Future. Great song. The beat is just so good. I love that flute on it.
Yeah,
it just like distracts you from everything. And Metro knew what he was doing because Future fits so perfectly onto the song.
Definitely.
It's just a great produced song.
I think that this is one of those ones where it's really well known, probably because of the chorus, but also I think it's mostly because of that flute. It's just so iconic, such a great melody.
Yeah.
So unique for a trap beat. So yeah, I don't know. I guess that one kind of went over my head, but that is another really, really great Future beat.
Yeah.
Metro beat.
Definitely. All right, Cardi is up next.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
I think he's another artist who has a really, really great ear for production.
Yes.
Like I there aren't very many like badly produced Cardi songs, and there are a lot that are like pushing like music and being very influential. Like you have Whole Lotta Red, which is kind of like the blueprint for rage music almost.
Yeah, that rap rage type of feel. I mean, so many artists were inspired by that album or have become popular because of that rage. I mean, obviously pretty much all the Opium label has kind of come up off of Whole Lotta Red. But yeah, Cardi, so many great beats. I mean, and I think the only like beat selections that are kind of similar are Die Lit and Self-Titled. I think they're somewhat similar. I think
a lot of pure born production.
Yep, I think Die Lit is above Self-Titled just because of there's so much Pierre, but it's just kind of like that same vibe but better. But then Whole Lotta Red and Music are just completely separate from any other song in his discography, or not song but album in his discography. I'm gonna start with Music. Got like Evil Jordan. I've always loved the beat on that. Rather Lie, I think, just has a really like majestic type of beat. Probably my favorite beat off the album is Like Wheezy.
That's a really good one.
Who does he sample? I think it's Space Ghost Perp or whatever. I can't.
Something like that.
Yeah, don't blame me. I'm not super hip on classic Florida rap like that. But yeah, that's a great beat. Also, Nose, I think, is another. The sample's great off of it. Impressive beat. Off of Whole Lotta Red, so many great ones. I mean, Vamp Anthem. I love it just fits so well. Like Whole Lotta Red, Vampire. Here's like the classic Halloween vampire anthem, and I think he performs really well with that. Sky is a great beat. Over is amazing. Personally, my favorite is I Love You, I Hate You off of that. It's one of my favorite, one of the best Pierre beats of all time. Die Lit, so many great beats off of here. Got like Right Now, Fell in Love, Mileage, No Time, Flatbread Freestyle is a great one. Long Time Intro, great one. Lean for Real is my probably favorite beat off of it, but not my favorite beat of all, because my favorite beat of his is Location.
Nice. Yeah.
Another just one of one song. People try to replicate it, but I just don't think you can.
Yeah.
I think the closest replication was Long Time. It's just so unreal. Like, it's a whole different, like, majestic, floating. It's kind of like what Travis Scott does, but for me, like, it's just a different level, because it's just like that duh duh. I mean,
it's so simple.
Yeah.
And as far as like Travis Scott, I think he does more like a psychedelic trap, where this is like more like a cloud rap kind of vibe.
Yeah, I agree. But it's just like the only word that I can think of is majestic. I mean, there's not a time where you can't throw this song on. Like late night, you throw this on. Like hanging out with your friends, throw this on. It's just so diverse, and everybody loves it because of just that unreal beat. Like, it's just so hard to explain it, because it's just so simple but so great. And I think it's just, I mean, obviously it makes the song. Cardi does well on it, but you don't have to do well on it. It's one of those songs you hear so many like old SoundCloud rappers where they kind of went with that vibe. Terrible rappers, but they had a beat like this, so people love the song.
Carried that genre a lot.
Yeah, and I just think this is probably the best beat of that type of genre, and it's just a ridiculous song to start off your very first album, first album, and you start with this, and great song. But what do you have to say?
As far as like when Cardi was in that cloud rap vibe, like Location was definitely one I was really considering. Magnolia, Let It Go, I Love You, I Hate You is really, really good. I also really like R.I.P. off of Die Lit. I think that's kind of like the foundation, kind of set the tone for like something like Whole Lotta Red to come through. I also really, really like Shuda.
Yeah.
Off of Cardi's self-titled Woke Up Like This, one of my favorites ever. Got to give a shout out to Opium Baby off of Music, iconic. Really, really like 2024. I think that's a super cool beat.
Definitely.
I also, off the bonus tracks, I really liked FOMDJ. That one's super cool. Off of a Whole Lotta Red, Rockstar Made, Stop Breathing, U-Tank. A big fan of that sound. Cardi does great on it. The one I went with might not be the most popular take, but something about this song just speaks to me. It's called Different Day. It was another bonus track for Music. This is produced by KP Beats, who has done a lot of production for Cardi. Someone named Mbeza, I believe. He's done like big Drake songs, Life Is Good, Girls Want Girls. There's another like duo on here also called Out of Air. They haven't done a whole lot. They're pretty new. But this beat, I don't know, just I really, it's another one that I can't really describe. It just speaks to me in such a unique way. It kind of has like this like futuristic synth vibe on it, and like when the drums kick in, it's just like this like constant highlight. So it's very incredibly simple, but I don't know. I this one has just inspired me so much. Like when I first heard it, I literally pulled up FL Studio and I was like, I'm gonna try and make a beat like this. It's just kind of unlike really anything I've heard. Definitely nothing I've really heard Cardi rap on, but as a whole, like it's just very unique. I don't really know like what genre to call it. It definitely has like that futuristic vibe, like you're driving through like a futuristic city almost. And I just love it. I think this was like the first single that kind of started the hype for Music as an album. And I was hoping that this would be like Cardi's new direction, but it wasn't. But it's still a really great song. Very happy it's on streaming now. And it's definitely one of my favorite Cardi songs.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right about that. It's just completely different from anything I've ever really heard. That futuristic vibe is so crazy. And I mean, it's just perfect for what he is. And then, see ya.
I know, like I love his performance on this,
and it's just
on
like
this
that,
beat. Like
that. It's amazing.
It was perfect for him. Like I don't know how it happened, but I'm glad it did. And the great thing about production is like we were saying, like these artists have so many different types of beats that they're on. Like Cardi's been on rage music, he's been on cloud rap music, and you have this like futuristic sounding beat, and there's really no one objective answer. Like it's just about what speaks to you with the music, like and there's really no way to define that. Like there's just certain beats that just like hit with your soul in a different way that you can't even describe. And that's just how it is.
Truly just such a talented artist. I mean, you'll never hear enough from me just because I'm such a big Cardi fan, but yeah, just a great beat. Next is an artist I'm not much of a fan of, so I only had one pick for it.
Okay.
It might be the most obvious one, but I don't really know. 444
by Jay-Z.
It was produced by No ID and James Fauntleroy. Like I said, I've never been huge into Jay-Z, but I remember back in middle school, like on Pandora, I used to listen to this song because the beat was just so good. You've seen like artists like Tyler, the Creator, like try to use the same beat and freestyle and do whatever on. Just it's such a great beat, and
it's incredible.
Yeah, for Jay-Z to go on it and talk about what he did, it's great song, amazing beat. But I mean, you're definitely a bigger Jay-Z fan than me, so
yeah. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm like huge. I don't have a ton of knowledge about his catalog, but I have listened to a good amount of it. I'm a really big fan of the Bounce off of the Blueprint 2. This has Kanye as a feature on it. It's produced by Timbaland. It's a perfect title for it because it is really, really, really bouncy, and it has those like iconic like Timbaland like percussive drums on there. Super cool, super like funky sounding, and you can listening to this and then listening to like some songs of like The College Dropout, you can tell how much it inspired Kanye. So that was really cool for me. Also really, really like Heart of the City off of the Blueprint. That's a Kanye produced beat. If you haven't heard it, absolutely check it out if you like Kanye's style of production. But yeah, definitely 444. That album was what I was looking at the most because I think it's like so well produced, super, super unique. And that was pretty much all thanks to No ID, who is an incredible production catalog. He has a stacked list of songs with Kanye, Jay-Z, Common, Jhené Aiko, like crazy credit lists. I was thinking about Family Feud, which actually samples Beyonce. 444, obviously. I really like Moonlight off that album, but the one I went with was The Story of OJ. Like you were saying with 444, this is something that producer or other rappers have gone on because the beat is just that good. Pusha T dissed Drake on this beat. Lil Wayne has been on it. Youngboy's been on it. DaBaby's been on it. It samples Nina Simone, which, like, how can you go wrong with that? But I love the way that they used it, repurposing that piano and, like, that vocal chop in such a unique way. And the thing I really like about the vocal chop on this is, like, the way they pitch it up and down at different points. It doesn't get repetitive at all. And I think, like, this is such a great example of, like, keeping a beat interesting and structuring it in a cool way. And I also really, really like those like super heavy, fat like drum rolls that come in near the end of the song. Super duper cool. This is a great beat. I think it's one of the best in recent memory, for me at least. So yeah.
Yeah, that's one that I've heard. And yeah, I agree. It's kind of like that same 444 type of vibe. Just for me, I really like the emotion more in 444.
That's definitely fair.
It's so beautiful. So, but yeah, another great pick. Another artist that, I mean, I feel like it was much easier for a Gambino. We talked about his feature last week, but I don't even think we mentioned it because for rap, there's not much to speak or to talk about. But
I know, yeah.
I feel like he kind of has that ear for production too.
Definitely. I think he does a bit of his production himself.
Yep.
I'm not sure which songs exactly, but
he helped on the one that I picked. For me, it wasn't even close. I've talked about this song before, but it's The Worst Guys.
Nice, yeah.
I love this song so much. You get like guitar in it. You get just like that dun 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 throughout the entire thing, and it's just like that same kind of vibe as what I said for Cardi, where it's just like that like majestic, just beautiful type of beat, and especially when that guitar comes in with the beat, it all just meshes together and so beautiful. Just another song that I think is one of one, and just miles ahead of everything else for me. But what did you have to say?
I definitely think you have to go with something off of Because the Internet. I think that's his best produced album, and that's probably why it's his most well-known album. As far as rap goes, you have to consider Childish Gambino has done a lot of different things vocally. He's been an R&B artist, he's been a pop artist, so only so much of his catalog is actually like hip-hop rap music. So there's a lot of things we couldn't really consider. But this may be a basic pick, but I would go with 3005.
Mm-hmm.
I think it has like a super, super catchy beat with just that dun, 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 that just gets you into the song. Super iconic, great vibe, and I just love like how it explodes for that chorus with like those layered synths and everything. I think it's like that super nostalgia, like 2010s vibe that we're probably not ever gonna really get again in production. And it's great. And obviously his chorus on it is iconic, and that's probably why it's so iconic. But I really think the production is such a huge part of that.
Yep. And it's definitely my second favorite. I mean, like I said, The Worst Guy is just really ahead, but 3005 was one of my favorite songs ever for a long time. I think now I kind of listen to it so much that The Worst Guys is ahead of it.
That's fair.
But it's a unreal song. I mean, it's kind of that same vibe as The Worst Guys, just like that really beautiful sunset type of feel, and great. I
always think of the music video when I listen to it. The Ferris wheel. Yeah,
that's
definitely exactly what it sounds like to me. But other shout outs from his production off of that album, I really like Telegraph Avenue. That one's awesome. Off of some of his other albums, I really like Algorithm off of Ada Vista. That's kind of like an industrial, very like Kanye Yeezus inspired thing. Final Church off of that album is really cool. And also Yoshinoya off of his most recent project, Bando Stone, is really cool. That's like probably the hardest he's tried to rap in a long time, and I think the beat really, really fit that.
Yeah, yep. I think both the projects he put out last year were very good projects. But I just don't think they compare to Because the Internet, in my opinion.
Fair. Yeah, I agree.
Up next, A$AP Rocky.
I think he's another guy who has a great year for production. Another person who is kind of in that cloud rap scene for a while, and I think that's probably the most iconic A$AP Rocky sound is those floaty, cloudy beats. So those are the ones that I mostly looked at. How about you, though?
Yeah, I would say that's what I mostly look, just like that old classic Rocky, definitely. The three songs that are kind of my top three: Jukebox Joints, great song; Fashion Killa, another great song, but my choice is Smoke Away My Brain.
Yes, that's the one I went with too.
Yeah, produced by Clams Casino. I mean, you get the Imogen Heap sample in the background, and it's just unreal. It's kind of that same vibe as Location, that cloud rap, majestic, floating type of vibe, and it's great. What do you have to say about the song?
Yeah, like you said, it samples Imogen Heap, who, is just, if you haven't listened to this album that this samples, it's incredible. And she has like this really good knack for like creating these like beautiful melodies and beautiful instrumentals. But what I love about this is it's kind of like you were talking about with that Drake Lauryn Hill song earlier. Like her song that they sampled is pretty sad, but they Clams Casino turned it into something like happy and floaty and like cloudy feeling. And with such like, as a producer, like when I'm like, oh, this is a beautiful song, it'd be cool to sample it. It's so easy to just like chop a part of it and then put drums on it. But that's not what they did. Like he picked like specific parts, rearranged them, and made something completely new out of it. And I think that's just so cool. And like we were saying, like I think this is the best A$AP Rocky vibe. And I think this fits perfectly for them. The cool thing about this beat is this isn't even originally A$AP Rocky's beat.
Really?
This is a Lil B song.
Wow.
Yeah, it's called I'm God.
Oh, yeah.
And so this Smoked Away My Brain is a mashup of an A$AP Rocky song called Demons. They took the vocals from that and then put it on Lil B's I'm God beat. But yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah,
I really
it's a
appreciate
mashup
that. That's
of
sweet.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Lil B. Definitely one of the most iconic artists. I mean, influential artists.
Yeah.
He doesn't get credited like he should. But yeah, I love Lil B.
Yeah.
Bass God. But yeah, it's just such an unreal beat. But
I know. And that's how you know like you've got a good beat is when multiple rappers want to be on it, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Up next, Don Toliver, our final rapper. I guess if you could call him a rapper. He kind of leans between R&B and rap. I'm pretty big on Don Toliver, so I try my best to just do like a top 3. I had Enough, which this is where he really raps, and it's just a great beat, great soul sample.
What album is that on?
It's off of Heaven or Hell.
Okay.
I think it's on Jack Boys too, but he put it on Heaven or Hell too. But yeah, great. I also have Love is a Drug, which was off of his most recent album. But my winner is What You Need.
Nice.
It's a really, really underrated song. There's just so many bits and pieces that go into the beat that you just like can't even like understand. I think the start is a little like you're like, this doesn't sound that good. But once he really gets into it, it's just that same kind of floaty cloud, kind of like that Travis type of thing. And there's just so many beats. There's one part, it's I think right before the chorus, the hook, and one of my friends pointed it out one time, and I hear it every time. But there's like this like wah wah wah, and it's like every time I listen to the song, I listen for that part, and it adds to the song for me.
Yeah.
So I don't know how big you are on the song if you listen to it a lot.
I like that one.
But next time you listen to it, make sure to listen for that like wah wah, because it just adds. You're like, wow, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
So, but what did you have to say about?
Yeah,
Don
that's
Toliver?
the great thing about good production is that every time you listen to it, you know, you'll hear something new. That's a good thing that Tyler's really good at. But yeah, I really, really like the production on Life of a Don. I think it's like super cool. One of the ones that I was heavily considering was Crossfaded off of that album. Just a super like sweet, like romantic sounding synth that sort of drives it. It's not really a vibe that I hear in hip hop melodic rap that much, so really, really cool. I like, and this is kind of like Metro's song and Don Toliver's song, but Too Many Nights is really cool. Off of, I think he's definitely some of his best production was on his most recent album, Heartstone Psycho. So I was thinking about 4x4 off of that. Super, super cool. I really like Glock for that more like melodic vibe. But the one I went with was also one of my favorite songs of last year, Kryptonite. This is produced by Bugs Ronan, who made a lot of beats for Lil Uzi Vert, 206 Derek, someone named Alien, Brian Yepes, I Am Kivo, Preem, and Tiggy. A lot of people I don't know, but they did a great job on this. Like I was talking about earlier with Travis Scott's album Rodeo, that mix of like heavy synths and electric guitar, you can tell that these producers and Don Toliver took a lot of inspiration from that for this song. And I just love the structuring of it. You know, you get a beat switch partway through, but before you get there, you get like these super climactic, this really, really cool guitar chord progression that just feels like it's the first song in the album, but it feels like climactic, you know? And it really feels like such a triumphant intro. Super duper cool. And it hits so hard when the drums come in, and then that beat switch almost sounds like something you'd hear like Future on, but it fits really well. I think the momentum at that point was built up so well that like anything would have worked, but I think it's still a really cool beat switch. And then the guitars end up coming back in at the end. Yeah, I think it's a great song. really, I just love that guitar. It's so sick.
I think one part that really stands out to me with that beat after the beat switch is that girl's like high-pitched vocals in the background. I love that part. Like, I just think it adds to the song really well. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. All right, our two producers now. You know, this is one of those, there's so many different beats, so many different songs by each of them that we can't cover all of them. So I think it would be good for both of us to just do like a top 3 for each, just to try to make it quick, because, you know, we're really talking about production here.
Yeah, we are.
So I'll start with Metro. I really like that.
Yeah.
I think it's a really, really good beat, perfect for Future. I believe I mentioned this before, but I do think Kendrick kind of takes away from the song a little bit. I just don't think it was his beat that much, and it almost sounds a little bit forced, but it doesn't mean that it's bad by any means. I felt like it was a lot more natural for Future, whereas for Kendrick, it was just a lot more like, oh, well, I'm going to do what I usually do on this beat. It wasn't made for him.
That's true, yeah.
But in terms of the beat itself, amazing. Mask Off, which I've already mentioned. Flute is iconic beat. I love it. And then Runnin'. With 21 Savage, it's like just hype. I can't explain it any other way. It's just like boom, boom, boom. And I love how that soul sample, it just like comes in and it's like dun 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 boom, and how it does it, like that's what it does. I feel like that's the only time I've ever really heard a beat, because I mean usually that soul sample is just kind of carries through, but I just love how he uses it for that build up before really dropping it. So yeah,
whenever Metro uses like a soul sample, it's so cool. I wish he would do it more, because he's really, really good at it. Some ones I was thinking about, I really like Am I Dreaming with A$AP Rocky off of the Across the Spider-Verse soundtrack. Super cool, super nostalgic, and it probably always will be, remembering hearing that song at the end of the movie. So cool. Like That is also amazing. I really like Beat It. I think I mentioned that earlier, off of We Still Don't Trust You. 3500 off of Rodeo. I Serve the Bass is a crazy, crazy beat. The one I went with was Father Stretch My Hands Part 1.
Yeah, of course.
I think it's the best Metro producer tag drop I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Super iconic, and like I was talking about with Metro using soul samples, like I don't think there really are many Metro Boomin beats like this. Like, this is super unique, super iconic, and this is a song that is absolutely iconic for the production. Like, obviously, you know, Kid Cudi and Kanye did their things on this, but it's really the beat that is the best part of it. And this is another song that has a huge list of producers, but I actually did read that Metro Boomin sending this beat to Kanye, so I feel like he's the foundation of it, and you know, it has his producer tag on it, so I feel like this is his beat, even though people might have added other things to it. But I think it's like one of the most euphoric like hip-hop beats ever, just that build up and then eventually that drop with those like, again, those like constant hi-hats, and it blends like that soul sample with like that synth bass. It's just super, super sick. Yeah, it kind of feels like a bit of like a precursor, like beats like 2024 we were talking about earlier, with like that blend of like trap production with soul samples.
Yeah, for sure. That's a one of them beat. I'd almost like, it slipped my mind. I would say that's probably my top one, because it's just so iconic and amazing. I think after that huge beat drop and that beautiful part when Kanye starts doing like his weird rap on it, I feel like that beat's a little like, okay, like
but eventually it kicks back in.
But that part, if that carried through the whole time, for sure, probably one of the best beats ever. I mean, I still think it is one of the best beats ever.
Definitely.
But it might be the best beat ever for sure if it carried through the whole time. But yeah, amazing, amazing, amazing. Now for the producer that I actually prefer, Pierre Bourne. I've talked about my love for like Cardi, and I talked about Surf with Young Thug. I love Pierre Bourne. I love his style. I think it suits like me a lot. I've always just been a huge fan of him. When I first started kind of getting into, I guess not mainstream rap, but kind of finding my own style, it was probably sophomore year of high school when I really stopped like just listened to the basic stuff and really started finding out what I liked. Pierre Bourne was one of the first artists that his personal catalog was one of the first artists. Like I was like, dang, like this is actually really good. And it kind of set me on a path of like the underground rap, Cardi, all that type of stuff. And yeah, so Pierre's kind of done a lot for me as a person, and he has many great beats. To mention a few that I really, really, really like, Poof off of Life of Pierre, Routine and Guillotine are all amazing off of Life of Pierre 4. Off of Life of Pierre 5, you got Biology 101 is great. For You is an amazing song if you haven't heard that one. Retroville, Switching Lanes, all great. You got like Mister with Young Nudie. There's so many great ones. I Love You, I Hate You is a great one. Surf. I mean, so many, pretty much like all of Die Lit is Pierre, and every single one of them is just as good as any of the ones I've mentioned. He's just such a great producer. But my favorite song that he's produced is one of his songs himself. It's called IG. For the longest time, it was just like a leak, and it was on this video of Rainbow Road, like Mario Kart, like just.
I feel like I've heard of this.
Yeah,
I've probably heard it, but I just don't remember it.
I'll play it for you when we're done. But the beat is just, it's kind of like Location and Smoked Away My Brain, where it's just so like, it feels like you're driving on Rainbow Road. Like it's just unreal. And I don't think Pierre has the same talent as an artist that he does as a producer, or as like a rapper, a performer that he does as a producer. So, I mean, in terms of his rapping on it, it's kind of lackluster. It's good. The song's still good, but the beat is just so unreal. It carries the song. And if you like Pierre and you haven't heard that song, check it out, because it's definitely one of his best beats. What do you have to say?
I have to re-listen to that one. I definitely haven't spent as much time with his music as you have. I think definitely a barrier for me has been, like you were saying, I don't think he's as good of a rapper as he is a producer. So a lot of times I'll put on a song and I'm just like, like it kind of takes me out of it a little bit. So, I mean, I was mostly just looking at like Cardi songs for this. A lot of them we mentioned before: Magnolia, Let It Go, R.I.P., I Love You, I Hate You. But my favorite that I've heard from him, at least right now, is Woke Up Like This. I've talked about it before. I just really love the synth melody on here. It's super nostalgic feeling, super simple, but it gets the job done. And like we've been talking about, just kind of makes you float out of your seat, brings back memories for me. It's just a really, really great song. And it's just super soft, and I don't know. There's not much else to say about it. It's a great vibe.
Yep. I agree completely. He's an amazing producer, really talented at what he does. He's the best at what he does in terms of his style. I mean, I think many people are inspired and try to do what he does, but he's one of one. And I think it's the same way with Metro. I feel like Metro's more trap, where Pierre's more of that like calm, cool type of vibe. I mean, Cardi's trap, obviously, but I think it's a different type of trap from like Future and Thug and them.
Definitely.
All right, time for some shout outs. For me, I've been really listening to The Bell by Yeet, his most recent drop. I love the high notes in it where he's like, "Oh my diamond, speak to me." It's
like he hit that.
Yeah, it's really good.
You
like
wouldn't
I'm
have expected it.
Yeah, I love it. One song, I can't believe I forgot to mention this for A$AP Rocky in terms of production, the A$AP Forever remix. I
don't know
love
if
that.
I've heard that.
Really? You have
Maybe
to.
I have.
It's with Kid Cudi, T.I. You gotta listen.
I'll have to re-listen.
Yeah. It's a great produced song. And then Crush 'Em by Lil Uzi Vert.
Nice.
I've been listening to. I was never huge on Pink Tape, but I heard like
that's a good one.
It was an edit on TikTok, and that second half of the song where there's like a buzz in the background is just so good.
Sometimes those edits go a long way. They're like, wait, I never realized like this song kind of goes hard.
Yep. All right. What about you?
I've been revisiting Corso off of Call Me If You Get Lost recently. It's kind of like one that I forgot about, I guess. And same as last time, just listen to a lot of Young Thug, going through his songs and adding a bunch of them to my playlists. The new song that he released with Future was pretty good, but just a lot of Jeffrey. that's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm. All right, I think that'll be it for Central Hip Hop Hour. I hope you enjoyed. If you have anything you want to say, hit us up on Instagram. And yeah, I'm Nate Havrilla.
And I'm Gabe Schall. We'll see you next week.